These are the last two sections which speaks about valuing the private firms and intangible assets. See, the process remains the same, whether whatever is the nature of firm. But the thing is, there are certain peculiarities associated with that particular nature of so in this case, say it's a private firm, so it has its own peculiarities. So my objective over here is to bring out those peculiarities so that one at the time of undertaking this exercise of valuation, to keep those perspective in mind and ensure that those uh, aspects doesn't in any way deter the process of valuation. And it has to be ensured that all the aspects, irrespective of what are the issues or concerns or challenges that nature of firm or activity really places across, one has to ensure that the entire exercise is well undertaken with facts and data elements, and ensuring that those issues are well taken care of. So in this case, in case of these private firms, we see that there in many situations no standardized information is available, and in many situations it has also been seen that accounting standards laid down are not well followed, as because in most of the cases it's been seen that the owner is the same person who is the manager, so that person is doing firefighting throughout and being not able to really assess the significance of a proper accounting process or a proper business plan process or forecasting processes and things like that, which makes the system of valuation exercise more cumbersome, as because then you need to sit across with the owner, ensure that he or she is being able to give you the right time and sufficient time so that your all queries and assumptions are really looked through, and you are able to source those informations which really plug into create that exercise, right? So let us also look into the in the case of intangible asset valuations. So intangible assets, as we all know, are non-physical assets or things of such value, such as uh, intellectual property, franchisee rights, leaseholder interest, non-compete agreements. And intellectual property may be in the form of trademarks, patent rights, and copyrights. So this also includes unquantifiable assets, often referred to as goodwill or deferred costs. And deferred tax assets are also intangible assets, true, though these are easier to quantify. Although they lack physical substance, intangible assets, also called intangible property, may represent a substantial or even a major portion of company's total assets, and balance sheet lists such assets only if a company incurs a cost when acquiring them. This is the most important aspect on intangible asset, is that balance sheet would list such asset only if a company incurs a cost when acquiring them. So in the process of valuation exercise, one has to ensure that this is well accounted for and is looked into whether a company has incurred a cost at the time of acquiring, right? So in order for an expenditure to quantify as an intangible asset, a company must expect benefits in the following years and support that expectation with evidence. So these are few very critical aspects which needs to be taken into account while one is undertaking the valuation exercise. So this is just to give you a overview. I think it's quite a sufficient amount of overview in the valuation exercise, but this course is not about valuation. Please be very careful around this. This is not a valuation course. This is a course of investment banking, which gives you perspectives around investment banking and gives you sense around the different aspects as to how the investment banking community work, what are they are into, and the nature of services they are into, what sort of ambience is there in an investment banking company, what are the role of investment banks, what is the different portfolios the investment banks handle, what is meant by underwriting, the different types of underwriting, things around issue management, the different types of securities, roles and functions, how what's the prospectus, what the contents of the prospectus, aspects around private equity, stakeholders, capital, leverage buyout, venture capital, growth capital, research investment, mezzanine capital, prerequisites of PE fund, PE contribution, PE funds of funds, role of by investment banks and private equity, then stuff around corporate restructuring, expansions, contractions, ownership control, organic, inorganic, buybacks, buyer motivation, seller motivation in case of your mergers and acquisitions, why acquire a business, role of investment banks in mergers acquisitions, steps for successful transactions, what are the sell activities, buy side activities, and the different aspects and valuations that we discussed over a period of time. So I think we had quite a comprehensive understanding over so many days and over so many videos, and I think this must have given you a tremendous perspective around investment banking. See, our company Business Unplugged uh, is having only one motive, and this motive is to give the real insights, the practical insights at a very affordable cost around business and finance to the length and breadth of this country. What we see is that the knowledge of business and finance, which is a very critical knowledge for any organization to grow, and if the organization is growing, then only employability grows, right? If the organizations are not growing, they won't be able to employ people. Then how people get employment? So an organization can only grow if they are taking the right set of business and finance decisions, and they can only take business and finance decisions if the owners, the or say the management of these companies are themselves aligning themselves on the knowledge of business and finance, or they are recruiting the right set of people. And but when suppose if they're eager also to recruit people, they should be able to have the right the set of people who has sufficient knowledge around the subject. So based on our years of experience, we get to see that we fall short on that. In India we don't really have or I should say most of the developing economies, we don't have that sufficient knowledge and understanding around different aspects of business and finance, and it's only concentrated into a few companies and few set of people as a financial capital sitting across. So that shouldn't be the case. Business and finance affects everyone, affect every industry, every nature of work, and that's the reason as to why we take this pledge, and we take this initiative of letting the people around who is interested in this set of understanding to uh, know more about business and finance from a realistic perspective. We don't believe in this theoretical level of understanding, because that is what we had enough. Now let's understand the practical stuff, what needs to be learned, where it's to be learned, and has to be reached to, right? So that is the perspective with which we have developed this course. I hope it has added a lot of value. If you have any queries, any thoughts, any suggestions, please feel free to share this with us, and I feel that our association with you in the years to come would be fruitful, and we would really be able to make sense to all the understanding that you require around business and finance. Thanks a lot.